athletics. I was assigned to coach javelin throw, shot put, although hindi ako player, pero medyo kabalo lang. And Sir De La Cruz was there, and he actually demonstrated pole vaulting. Nag-pole vault siya, balang nagadalagan ka nga may pole, then you jump over a line or an obstacle that is very high. And we were so amazed because he was wearing his slacks, although he has his rubber shoes. Kay daw ka unusual nga makita na mo ng presidente nga mayad gali mag-pole vault. But aside from that, he was also very good with his colleagues. And actually, I started there. He started there when I was in high school. And when he left, I was already teaching. That was my first year of teaching at Philomer Christian College. That is why I have seen how he is as a leader. He is very hands-on, and he would always talk to his subordinates and even to the students. That is why we would always remember him as a dear president, not only actually as someone who is your superior, but at the same time, he can always talk to you. He is very practical, he is very down to earth. So that is why when he left Philomer, of course some of us were sad, but I want you to know, all of you, especially ang nagalantaw sa aton live, that you know the legacy of Sir De La Cruz was never forgotten. He was actually the one who helped us stabilize our faculty and staff salary scale in Philomer. And that is why until now, this is my 32nd year in Philomer as a member of the teaching force, and now I am vice president. But you know, I have seen that it has really helped us a lot. So, gusto ko lang ipaabot sa mga kabataan ni Sir De La Cruz, sa iyang mga kaparintihan, that Sir De La Cruz will always be in our hearts and he will always be a part of Philomer history. I know this is a very difficult time because last month my father also died, but I know that we will get through this because as Christians we believe that we will still see each other again in the morning. God bless us all.
The first time I met Dr. Victor de la Cruz was when I was a 14-year-old first-year student at the CPU College of Nursing. He was very active in the church activities like CYF, choir, and as camp counselor at Camp Higher Ground. He was so good-looking that I had a secret crush on him. So every morning, I would watch him run around the football field as his regular exercise. He was very athletic. We became friends. One Christmas, he gave me a beautiful red book journal with my name on it. I was very happy and treasured that gift. We did not hear from each other for some time. He got married, then later worked at the Ed. I heard he was invited to help Philomer as president. He left his work with the government to go back to Philomer. He did a lot to improve Philomer. He was focused and passionate to help Philomer as a pleasing service to the Lord. One day, I got a call from him. They need a dean for the College of Nursing. Otherwise, it will be closed. So like him, I obeyed God's call and a way of paying back for what Philomer has done to my husband's family, the Badrinas. When my mother-in-law became a widow with 3 small children, Philomer took care of them. So he became my president and I was the dean in the College of Nursing. His leadership style were respect, and trust for those under him. One time, a known politician went to his office for his child to be accepted in the College of Nursing. In a very kind and tactful way, he referred him to my office with a simple note. The college has its own requirements. Please see the dean. Unfortunately, something happened very sudden, which resulted to his untimely dismissal as president. He became jobless with children in school. He was heartbroken. I tried to help, so I sought advice from our Christian lawyer friend. He was asked to do something like swallowing his pride, which he did. There I saw Christian humility in action. That act of humility did not work. In fact, it was used against him later. How can Christians be so cruel and unkind? The root of all evil is the love of money. But Dr. de la Cruz was never materialistic in all aspects of life. His lifestyle was very simple. He was never corrupt with finances as president. After 3 years, I went back to Negros to help West Negros College open their College of Nursing, hospital, and graduate work for nursing. Because Dr. de la Cruz was jobless, I invited him to work as dean in the College of Education. The president and owner of the college was our friend from the youth camps. One time, the president came to my office to inquire about something very important. The big question was, is it true that I go out with Dr. de la Cruz for dinner and chat? Is there something shady in our relationship? So I looked straight to the president's eyes. Yes, that's true. I go out with him for dinner and chat. He enjoyed my company because I always make him laugh, being a serious person. But there is nothing shady in our relationship. He and my husband, me and his wife are friends. The children are close to me. So we laugh, just like the good old days in the camp. When I told him about it, he just smiled. He was very family-oriented. He loved his wife and his children very much. Later, we lived our separate lives. The children made very well in their academic pursuits and Christian growth. The last time I saw him was when I visited him at his beautiful house at Leganes with his garden and native chicken. Indeed, the steps of a good man is ordered by the Lord. He was a humble, faithful servant of God to the end. He has fought a good fight. He finished the race with flying colors. Dr. Victor de la Cruz, we thank God for your beautiful Christian life. We will miss you. Like David, surely goodness and mercy shall follow your life, and you will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
We will miss you, like David. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow your life, and you will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Memories of great person will always be remembered by the legacy they left.
Memories of great
especially to
person
people
will
whom they
always be
made
remembered
great
by the legacy they left, especially to people whom they made great influence in their lives. To me, one of the great people whom God used as an instrument in molding me through the potter's hand is my beloved brother, Dr. Victor Alba de la Cruz, Sr. He is remembered by his loved ones in leading his family to serve the Lord as a good husband, a father, a grandfather, and a provider. To his friends, colleagues, students, fellow government workers, and among the Christian community, he is remembered as an honest public servant, a righteous leader, an educator, administrator, agriculturist, advocator in the Drug Watch Society, spiritual leader, an outstanding national athlete in track and field, leader of the Christian youth, and most outstanding working student of Central Philippine University in his time. Within the younger siblings, we call him with an endearment our beloved Manong Meckoy, whom to me, he served not only as my elder brother, but as my friend, my mentor, my spiritual leader, my counselor, and in many instances in my life, serving as the alter ego of my father, acting the role as a father figure to me from my childhood up to my college days. I was a student in the elementary days at Philomer, as well as in my college days in Aklan State University. He was a disciplinarian where he patiently molded me to become of what I am today. His kind of dealing with me was motivated by his personal love and concern for my future, as he trained me in the Bible way, which is to train up a child in the way he should go. In 1975, even when he left me on my second year in college to pursue his graduate studies at the University of the Philippines at Los Baños, his mentoring of 2 years was more than enough for me to survive college as a working student and finally made it to a more rigorous and regiment military profession in the Philippine Army. And every success I achieved, especially in my military career, Manong Meckoy has been a part of it because of his investment in developing my person through discipline, character building, both moral and spiritual, and above all, instilling in my heart the fear of the Lord. I remember how he patiently wakes up his younger siblings, Ramona, Hannah, Dorcas, and myself, bathing us and feeding us just to bring us on time to Sunday school. I saw him proud of his little brother being the youngest among the boys, while he was sitting alongside with the university presidents, military top brass, government officials, and other honored guests during my farewell speech as outgoing regional commander of the 6th Regional Community Defense Group, Army Reserve Command, being considered as a multi-awarded and one of the best commander of all time in Region 6. As I told him later, it was indeed a good investment you made when I was your student. And he just simply smiled. He is the kind of person that will motivate you and will believe in your potentials in whatever you want to become. And I asked him one day, Manong Meckoy, I want to become a military officer. And he believes in me and encouraged me to go for it. And all I could say today, Manong Meckoy, hindi po nasayang ang investment mo sa akin. He lived an exemplary life. The Macedonian call to serve his alma mater proved his worth as a good leader intellectually, morally, and spiritually. And with a shared vision, he drastically restored the old glory of Philomer Christian Institute, later a college. And that institution serving as the light of God's righteousness in the province. And that made him one of the best presidents of Philomer Christian University. With his sterling leadership, it was in his time that Philomer became the leading educational institution in the province of Capiz. One thing I admired him as a leader and as an administrator, he stood by his principle of righteousness. Despite the presence of the Sanballats and Tobias in the administration, some of them were businessmen and a lawyer. And whatever it cost, he was even willing to suffer for the sake of truth and righteousness. I remember him saying that if you do not find justice, God will vindicate you in the future, as he quoted the Bible that says, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord." During his public service, I look at him as a principled man, where he never compromised truth and righteousness in exchange of favors and advantages as far as his work and responsibilities is concerned. He never loved nor asked anybody a favor just to vie for a position while in the public service. When I went back to public service as one of the directors of Philippine Carabao Center, he humbly contributed innovations and strategy in improving the Carabao industry of the country. And he was known for his work ethics of being an honest and hardworking public servant. In the field of athletics, despite being a working student and a Christian youth leader during his college days in Central Philippine University, it was no barrier for him as he showed his dominance in track and field events in the university, then in the province, then in Western Visayas region. And finally, he successfully bagged the gold medal and set a national record in pole vault in the national athletic competition. While serving as faculty of the university, he trained and produced many young and competitive athletes in track and field in Western Visayas. A rare accomplishment from a well-rounded man, spiritually, morally, intellectually, and physically. Yes, occasionally we make some mistakes, but the life of Dr. Victor Alba de la Cruz Sr. is an exemplary life that is worth emulating as a servant of God, a public servant, an educator, a brother, as a son, as a husband, as a father, and as a grandfather. He lives up to his name, Victor, by living a victorious life, and is now receiving his final commendation from his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. And that is the reason why we celebrate his life today instead of mourning for his loss. As what the Apostle Paul says, as for me, to live is Christ, and to die is gain. I would like to end my eulogy for Manong Meckoy with another passage from the Bible. In the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 6. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. My final salute to Manong Meckoy.
We have an anchor that keeps us so steadfast and sure while the billows roll, fastened to the rock which cannot move, grounded firm and deep in the Savior's love. I have journeyed through the long dark night, out on the open sea. By faith alone, sight unknown, and yet his eyes were watching me. The anchor holds, though the ship's been battered. The anchor holds, though the sails are torn. I have fallen on my knees as I face the raging seas. The anchor holds in spite of the storm. I've had visions, I've had dreams, I've even held them in my hand. But I never knew they would slip right through. like they were only grains of sand. The anchor holds, though the ship is battered. The anchor holds, though the sails are torn. I have fallen on my knees as I face the raging seas. The anchor holds its part of the soul of the storm. I have been young, but I'm old now, and there's been beauty these eyes have seen. It was in the night, through the storms of my life. Oh, that's where God proved His love to me. The anchor holds, though the ship's been battered. The anchor holds, though the sails are torn. I have fallen on my knees as I face the raging seas. The anchor holds in spite of the storm. I have fallen on my knees as I face the raging seas. The anchor holds in spite of the storm. The anchor holds.
Good afternoon, family and friends and relatives. I'd like to share some memories as a younger sister. Manong Meckoy, as an older brother, have been a role model, a father figure to us, the younger siblings, hasta sa mga kahinablusan. He is a hero of the family, an inspiration to succeed in their chosen careers. I have witnessed on how he can convert a failure to a success sa life ni Daniel, ni Dorcas, kag sa akon man. We can lean on him in times of need and troubles. Seek his counsel, advices. When you talk to him, masense mo gid may wisdom iya feedback and komentaryo. When we were small kids, he would prepare us, all the younger siblings, to attend the Sunday school, bringing us to Capiz Evangelical Church by bike. Manong Meckoy has disciplined me as a child nga hindi gid magsugal. Because when I was a kid, where may pwesto si Mami sa market, and kung December, ang pula-puti ara da sa may kilid, Purisima, ang merkado, ang amon pwesto ara da sa may likod sang Calillo de la Purisima Conception. So as a kid, I was a gambler. Kag indisiplina niya gid ako. Kag nakas-out ina ang possibility nga may gambler ako, bababayi pagbi ako. He taught me always values, respect to elders, honesty, and hard work. That's why nag-work student man ako halin sang high school. Kaya na-inspire man ako sa iya as a work student. Nag-work student man ako sa library since high school. I earned my way. I earned also my education as a work student. High school, hasta gid mag-college. Kag wala gid ako nagpili isang profession ko. But I think God destined me nga kayo do wala lang ko kabalo ay nangin librarian na ako ya. Kay na grow up ako kag na learn ko, na experience ko ang joy of serving people. So daw amo na ang nasapuan ko sa self ko nga there is a joy. Hindi ko ma-explain kung makaserve ako sa iban nga mga tao dira sa library since I was in high school, college, and until 2018 pag-retire ko. But even minsan retired na ko, dahil yung maribadrina, bala dito kung ma-celebrate sila, makadto sila kay Reverend Floyd Roseberry, ma-celebrate sila sa iyang birthday, ma-acknowledge sila sa ilang contribution sa ilang sa lives ng mga missionary graduate at mga theology graduates. And when they were their professor, ay ako iya ang ginapangita sa party sa Wall of Remembrance. So, daw wala retirement ang CPU archives na kung nga nangin calling man sa Ginoo. Mommy would usually consult him and the other older siblings about the burden. About sang burden ni Mami sa pagpa-eskwela sa maamon nga mga ulihina, nga sa mga manghod. On how that all of us, the 10 children, 5 boys and 5 girls, nakatapos gid tanan sang college education, nangin professional gid tanan, it is because of their help and the support system, and partly as pag-work students, man naman. He have been leading the family solidarity by encouraging us all to have a family reunion every December 28. So that is Innocents Day, that is Daddy's birthday. Kaya ngalan ni Daddy, Innocentes. May ginapadako gina si Daddy nga idik para ihawon kay mapalauli sa family reunion ang ilan na pulo kakabataan with their respective families. Manong Meckoy have been so close to my godparents, Dr. Frank and Mrs. Curry, and their children who were our American Baptist missionaries in Capiz Evangelical Church, Rojas City, Capiz. They have greatly influenced as he grew his Christian life, values, character, and family culture. And it was passed on to us and to his own family also. Si Dr. Lucy Catalogo, the former high school principal, was his batchmate during their college days as work students sa CPU library. Manong Meckoy was one of the outstanding work students sa library. So in behalf of him, in behalf of my sister Lucy, who were work student her sa CPU, ako nag-pay back sang ilang sang pag-serve, further serve sa CPU, sa library. Ginistoryahan niya ko, niya abi mo si Vic, kung nagapanahin na siya ka books for mending sa library workroom, bahaw niya gapalaoy, laoy gina siya kanta sang favorite hymn niya, nga great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. So that was our opening hymn. Amo ginay ang favorite. Manong Meckoy shared sa pagpamalandong niya dito sa Camp Higher Ground. In a private moment with God, he made a covenant and nag-plead gid siya, nangamuyo gid siya. Nangayo gid siya blessing sa Diyos nga kung mag-start siya sa iya family. Ginpangayo gid nga tagaan siya kabataan nga God-fearing and bringing assets sa society. Indeed, true enough, God granted the deepest desire of his heart. God have been so good, so faithful to him and his family. Surely God's goodness and mercy has followed him in all the days of his life. The Lord, the Good Shepherd, truly guided his life and make him a blessing as a leader in the family and outside the family, a scholar, as an educator, as a comediante, comic and stage artist, as an athlete, and etc. And as being approachable, encourager, and motivator. And the most of all, as a darling, so caring, and very patient sa iyang mga apo. Na-experience din na kanday Pipay kang di Lucas. Kag ang kung magbakasyon po siya sa iyang mga kabataan sa Houston, very caring, patient, and loving siya. Sila ni Manang Linda sa iyang mga apo, sa ilang mga apo. Praise God sa kabuhi ni Manong Meckoy, a life lived to the fullest. Indeed, an inspiration to us and to others. His legacy are so deeply and so lovingly inscribed in our hearts. We are forever grateful to God for giving us and blessing us a brother. Manong Meckoy, we will miss you, and we know nga magkita na kita in the future. Thank you.
Maayong hapon sa tanan, si Junjun ini ang kamagulangan ng anak ni Papang. Apat kami sa pamilya, ang nagasunod sa akon si Eugene, tapos si Alton, kag ang amon agot si Pip. As you have known, we are all named Victors. Obviously, si Papang, he really loved his name. Nga kami tanan Victor. I love my name. Sang nagatubo kami when we were growing up, he would say, very meaningful ang inyong mga pangalan. Kay siling ya, it's the conqueror of the cross, or the victor of the cross. And I love it because he actually brought us up with ang iyang faith. May instance si Papang sa to nga ginaliwat-liwat yun na kami sang nagadalag ko kami nga when he was in one time sa Camp Higher Ground during one of those summer camps, he said wala pa na to siya pamilya, wala pa na to siya inang girlfriend, but he said that he had this kind of like epiphany nga one time ara siya sa isa ka spot kuno sa Camp Higher Ground, and he was telling me nga daw gin-convict siya sang Ginoo nga siling niya nga, and he made a pact with the Lord nga siling niya, Ginoo, kung i-allow mo ako nga maka-establish ang akon family, I'd like to dedicate my family to you. And I will raise my kids as God-fearing kids. And you know what? True to his, sort of like covenant niya sa Ginoo, he had shared his faith to us. I am a Christian because of Papang. Early on, sang nagatubo kami, he emphasized ang fear of God and salvation. He provided us with opportunities nga hukad nga madala niya kami sa Ginoo. So early on, sang nagadalag ko kami, I remembered he would bring us sa church and attend Sunday school. Ang mga memories ko sang una dito sa New Washington Evangelical Church, and I think sila ni Mamang, it's a concerted effort for both of them to bring us up nga makilala namon ang si Jesus Christ. And that's one of the legacies ni Papang. We were raised God-fearing. Ang isaya paginhambal nga he would like to bring up his kids as assets of the society. Very idealistic si Papang. I feel that he succeeded. He lived a life nga true to his word and commitment sa Ginoo. The second thing instill ni Papang sa amon sang we were growing up. Balaan na sang tanan nga si Papang, he was a work student diri sa CPU sang ara siya sa college. He had to, because wala siya sang resources, wala sa financial resources at that time. And throughout his college years, he worked as a work student. Sang first year high school ako, that was the first time I came here in CPU. And I was admitted sa diri sa high school. Dinala niya ako sa mga lugar nga where he worked as a work student. And one of the places that he took me was the ang university library, not hindi ang Henry Luce, it's the old one, ang sa Lopez nga building dito sa lapit sa high school. And he showed me around, and he would tell me that he would come like early in the morning and clean up. Usually ang iya ko nga duty is early in the morning, and then he would come to sa library kag I think it's janitorial ang iya to nga duty at that time. And he would say that he would finish his work and then have some breakfast, and then he would go to his ang klase niya, his classes. So he early on during the college days ni Papang, he really had valued the work of hard work. And this is the second thing that my dad had taught us. The love of work. He did a lot of things with his own hand. Si Papang nag-graduate agriculture. And he did a lot of things with his hands. wala siya nag-shy away sa trabaho. And he taught us that. And, very evident ina sa subong nga diri sa amon. Ako nagatrabaho na ako diri, ang ako nga mga utod nagatrabaho. And we get a lot of, praises or compliments sa amon nga mga nga ginaalagaan nga mga tao. And they would say that nga very very good worker kami. And I always tell them it's my dad. He taught us hard work. Na tandaan ko sang una ang motto ko no sang work student nga program is labor is honor. And that's very true. I think we have accomplished what we have in life because of the love of work. Si Papang ang nagtudlo na sa amon. We struggled a lot when we were growing up. Si Papang kag si Mamang were both teachers when we were growing up. Kag sing ano man lang ang ginakita sang mga teachers at that time. We've seen years nga kabudlayan sa amon, nag-struggle kami financially, and ang isa sa mga issues noon when we were growing up is that my dad really wanted to send us to good schools to provide us with education, and they really, I remember mga sacrifices nila ni both ni Papang and ni Mamang sa una was a lot. Natandaan ko na sa una when I was growing up, dito pa kami nag-star sa New Washington. Dito siya nagatrabaho sa Matek sa Mambusaw. And I could remember, I was still small, but I remember this. He would actually drive Mambusaw to New Washington. I don't know how often, every week, probably every day. Because dito ang trabaho. And, just to provide us with our daily sustenance. One of the things that probably hindi ko naintindihan when I was growing up was that we've lived in so many places. Nang daw mga nomads kami. I could remember nagstay kami sa New Washington, tapos naghalin kami sa Banga. But within Sabanga, we've been moving around. Tapos after that, naghalin kami sa Iloilo, and within Iloilo we were like moving around like nomads. Sa una hindi ko na maintindihan. But he had actually stressed out he's doing all of these things because he wants us to provide good education. Liwat-liwat niya na nga ginhambal sa amon. Wala siya sang mga tangible things. Wala siya sang wealth nga ipamana sa amon. Wala sang manggad. And so he said, the only thing that I can give you, that nobody could take away from you, is good education. So, naintindihan ko na later on that we've been moving back and forth kung sa diin, aside from his work. He wants us to go to those areas where we can get, kami nga mag-ulutod, he provided us with those opportunities. And I thank him for that. He told us to equip us with all the things that we can learn in life, because those are the things that you can hold on to. Ang mga manggad nga ina, somebody could steal it from you. Balay mo, pwede na masunog anytime, and it will be gone. Pero education is the thing that you will keep. Si Papang proponent na siya sang you follow your dreams and you do what you wanted to do, and he did that and he supported us. That's one of the legacies ni Papang. I think I could tell him that he can bask on the glories of what we have now as kids. Ako, si Eugene, si Alton, si Pip. We are what we have now, and what we are now, it's because of Papang. He is victorious. He is Victor. And it's not just because of him, because de la Cruz, because we are rooted sa faith namon. And these are the things that ang legacies ni Papang. There are still small things. I mean, he taught us a lot. But these are the things that that I will remember until the day that I will be called to be with him, with Mamang, and my daughter.